we are going to use our charcoal pencils to create value scales. So we have 4 different pencils that we have in our pack. We have white, we have soft, we have medium, and we have hard. So I'm going to start with the white for no apparent reason. And I'm going to be using the sides of my gray paper. With the white, I'm going to leave a blank space because that would be the absence of white. Then I'm going to lightly shade. You may not even be able to see this on the camera. So this is very little pressure. Next, I'm going to put a little more pressure and a little more layering to get a little brighter with my white. I'm going to do the same thing, but even more pressure and even more layers. So I should go back so it'll match the edges. So this is 1 layer, this is 2 layers, this is 3 layers. This is 4 layers. This is going to be 4 layers with even more pressure. Five layers and more pressure. And this is burnishing. So this is pressing down really, really hard. Okay, so that's my white charcoal value scale. Now I'm going to turn the paper to another side. I'm going to put my white away because I've already done that. And I'm going to go to my hard pencil. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to leave an empty space. Next, I'm going to shade very lightly in 1 layer. I'm trying to get to the edge of the paper so it'll be easier to match up my values. Okay. Then I'm going to shade a little with a little more pressure, and I'm going to do 2 layers. Now a little more pressure, 3 layers. A little more pressure and 4 layers. A little more pressure and 5 layers. And the last step, I'm going to burnish, which means I'm going to press down really hard. This one's going to be completely black. Okay, now I am going to turn my paper again, and I'm going to use the medium. So no pencil whatsoever, and then light pressure and 1 layer. Slightly harder pressure and 2 layers. So I'm right back on top. Again, a slightly harder pressure and 3 layers. Slightly harder pressure and 4 layers. Harder pressure and 5 layers. And burnishing. Burnishing again is pressing down really, really hard. Okay, now I'm turning my paper again. And on the last side, I'm going to use my soft pencil and leaving a blank. Then doing very light pressure in one layer, a little more pressure and 2 layers, a little more pressure and 3 layers, even more pressure and 4 layers, even more pressure and 5 layers. And last but not least, we're burnishing. Okay, now I'm going to label. So this was my soft. This was my medium. This was the hard pencil. And this obviously was the white. Now, I want to do one more thing. So one of the rules with the charcoal is that we're not going to cross the streams. So we're not going to mix the white and the black. So I kind of wanted you to see what it looks like when you do. So I'm going to take some white and put it in the middle of my paper. Not a lot, just a little area. I did about 3 layers. And now I'm going to mix it. I'm going to use the hard and the medium. And the soft. And then I'm going to come back and blend it with my white so that you all can see the result. And you need to do this for yourself as well. Very squeaky. But you'll notice that this gives you kind of a milky effect. It's not a real true effect. It's a milky effect. So here's an example of our charcoal drawing. And so you get these nice colors. But if you blend or cross the streams, if you blend the white and the black, you run into trouble when you get this milky effect. So that's value scales. And what we're going to do when you make your value scales, you're going to use them to figure out what shades and what pencils to use as you shade your drawing. So I'm going to take my value scale page and I'm going to match it up. Okay, white. This is really bright white. So I'm way down here. Okay. And then this says a little bit of white, but it's probably closer to here. Here we get into some lighter grays. So I might check my hard. It's about here. And then when I get to these very black, almost black grays, I'm probably going to be with my medium or my soft. So you're going to need this for the next steps, which is, of course, shading our drawing.